The moment the cameras switched on, no one could have predicted what was about to unfold. Sir Keir Starmer, the man who has carefully crafted an image of composure and control, found himself cornered in a way he had never been before. Facing him was Isabel Oakeshott, political journalist, sharp critic, and unrelenting interrogator. What started as a routine exchange quickly spiraled into a brutal live television takedown that left Starmer visibly rattled, and the audience stunned that it began with a simple question, one Starmer should have been able to answer with ease. Oakeshott pressed him on Labour's shifting stance, calling out contradictions in his promises and the constant U-turns that have haunted his leadership. But instead of offering clarity, Starmer hesitated. That pause was all Isabel needed. Like a hunter spotting weakness, she moved in, striking with precision. If you can't even keep your story straight, how can the country trust you with power? She demanded. The tension in the studio grew thicker with every second. Starmer tried to regain his footing, leaning on rehearsed lines about responsibility and unity. But Isabel wasn't having it. With receipts in hand, she pulled out past quotes, direct contradictions that exposed his inconsistencies for all to see. The audience gasped, commentators watched in disbelief. Starmer wasn't just debating, he was on the defensive, floundering against relentless fact-checks. What made the exchange so devastating was not just Isabel's research, but her ability to peel back the polished image Starmer has built. She revealed the cracks, his struggle to connect, his tendency to dodge, and his reliance on vague promises rather than firm conviction. Every attempt he made to fight back only made him look more fragile, more unprepared, and more humiliated in front of a live audience, and then came the bombshell moment, the question that shattered his composure entirely. Isabel leaned in and asked, "Sir Keir, isn't the truth that you'll say whatever it takes to get into number 10, even if it means betraying the very voters you claim to represent?" The words hung in the air like a dagger. Starmer froze. His silence spoke louder than any denial could. For many watching, it wasn't just a tough interview, it was an unmasking. As the segment wrapped, Isabel's takedown was already dominating headlines and flooding social media. Clips spread like wildfire, Starmer fumbling, Isabel unrelenting. Political analysts were quick to declare it one of the most brutal public humiliations of his career. But beyond the spectacle, it raised deeper questions about Labour's credibility, its direction, and whether Starmer truly has the strength to lead, because if he couldn't withstand one journalist's fire on live television, how would he survive the ruthless battlefield of national politics? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, was this just a crack in Starmer's image, or the beginning of a collapse that could cost him everything? Within minutes, social media erupted. Clips of the exchange spread like wildfire, with hashtags trending across Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Analysts described it as one of the most brutal political takedowns in years. Commentators from both the left and right admitted the damage was severe, with some even questioning whether Rayner could recover her credibility. Hopkins, once written off by critics, had flipped the narrative and left one of Labour's biggest names visibly shaken. But the biggest question remained, was this a ruthless but fair exposure of hypocrisy, or an orchestrated ambush designed to humiliate? Did Katie Hopkins simply speak uncomfortable truths, or did she cross the line into personal destruction? One thing is undeniable, the UK witnessed a political showdown that will be remembered for years. And as Angela Rayner struggles to rebuild her image, the nation is left wondering, when politicians are stripped of their carefully crafted words, how many of them could survive the raw truth?